Hey, Bright, Colby Huffman here. Got your video. Just got done with some lessons, had a minute to take a look, and we got a lot of athleticism. You got great rhythm, tempo, balance, a lot of really good things working here. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of show you what I saw. Have it here on this first video. If I draw a line on this club right here, you can see it just points down inside the ball. So if you do that on most players, top 100 in the world, you'll see it a little bit flatter, pointing kind of more at the ball. What that can cause, it can cause a little bit of a two-way miss. When you get the club steep like that, anything real steep, and it'll kind of cause the hands and arms to reverse rotate through impact. Anything really flat will kind of cause a little bit more flip. Just it's a passive torque force is what that can is kind of the name of what can encourage that to flip or kind of reverse rotate, if you will. But to help you get that club on plane, if we trace this thing back, 'cause once it's on plane, then you don't have to make any compensations. From there, when it's a little bit steep, you kind of tilt back, kind of drop it back. It shallows late, like on this next frame actually is pretty good. But by then you've kind of tilted a little bit and you're just end up with a decent amount of throw here where the hands and body aren't really working together that well. They can be harmonized a little bit more if we get that club on plane. And one of the things to do, you can see here on the way back, the hands are a little bit deep and the club's a little bit flatter than on the way down. So there's a little bit of a loop going on. So you're on the way up, you're on one plane, and on the way down, you're a little bit more steep. Most guys are either on it or they shallow it, but you don't see that look too much where it's that seat point inside the ball on the way down. So the cause, kind of one of the root causes here is, as we look at, just kind of take a look here. If I just put this on your hips there, you can see the hips turning back, and about right here, the hips are kind of done turning. Just look inside that yellow circle, and you can see the arms are just kind of independently lifting. There's nothing really, the legs and arms aren't really moving. So you can see here, all of the hip turn is done in that first, 25% of your golf swing. So now it's just lift. So that just kind of throws some things around there. It creates just a little bit of a problem with sequencing, and that actually is what causes that plane to be a little bit deep and flat. So one thing you can do, let's see if I can get that camera just right, and let's see if we can get this in here. So you can see here. So what we can do is, basically what you want is these hips and the club to be a little bit more synced together, in the sense of you want everything to be incrementally working together. So in other words, if the hip turn is 25% of the way done, you want your arms to be 25% of the way done. If you're 50% of the way done, you want your arms to be 50% of the way done on the way back. If you're 75%, 75%, and then 100, 100. Right now you go 100% and the club's only gone about 25%, and then it just kind of has to lift. So you'd like to see it a little bit more of, say 10%, 10%, 20%, 20%, 50%, 50%, 75, 100, everything kind of working together. So it's not, don't turn any less, but just see if you can blend it by, there are a couple drills you can do. You can just conceptually think of it and you might pick it up quickly. Otherwise, some drills would just be where you sense like this is just, there's a little more resistance right here, not letting it turn out of the way. And, whether you just kind of go halfway back here with feeling some resistance, and pausing right here. And what you'll see is if you turn more at this point, where you are, that brings these hands real deep. And then from there, you do one of these to get it on plane on the way down. Being a good athlete, I mean, you got great athleticism there. So doing one of these, that gets it kind of in a little bit better position. But from here, you've already started the momentum this way. So a lot of time, like if you're in a car and you hit the brakes, you know, you keep going. It's just going to have momentum to sometimes either there, but being a good athlete, you kind of tilt back and then kind of flick it to save it sometimes. So again, the root cause of all that is just, if you can just go halfway back with a little less turn, pause for about 3 seconds, 1, 2, 3, and then complete your turn and swing through. Okay, so again, just your drill would be to get everything harmonized. You want to be about 50% and about 50%, okay, instead of all 100. And then from here, as you go on up, everything turns on up instead of lifts. So turn it to the top and then go ahead and hit. That'll take care of most of that on the way down. So we just want to get the arms and body a little more harmonized, a little more blended. But again, you know, great athleticism. I can see great power. One other little thing that can help you as we looked, and it looks like you're a really cool spot there. Let's see, as you come through, you can see here the elbows get pretty far apart. See that in the finish? You know, a good kind of way to go about playing is if you can, you know, whether you put a soccer ball or mini basketball or something, however, it depends how big your arms are, but on the way through, you'd like to have kind of that same, you know, that same distance there. You don't want these arms getting spread like that, because if they start spreading, if they're that far spread up here, there's a good chance it might have started to spread a little early and through impact. But if you can keep everything, you know, that same distance, that can always that generally will help consistency. But again, that's a matter of arm flexibility and some things like that, but worth a try anyway. So yeah, other than that, drill wise, like I said, do that stop and go drill, pause for 3 seconds. You can do that for, you know, a week, maybe 2 weeks, where you kind of get the sense and feel of the drill. And then from there, you know, if you want to re-video, send it back in, I can take a look, see what the progress looks like. But, you know, but that would be the main keys. Like I said, then you won't have to get that thing on plane and the hips where they should be on the way back. Then you won't have to make that compensating move on the way down, which causes kind of the tilt and flick, which is just handsy versus kind of, you know, using your body. But hopefully that makes sense there. Again, feel free to reach back out, and in the meantime, best of luck to you, and hopefully you can make some birdies with that concept going forward. So thanks again, Bright. We'll talk to you soon.